My god, you are so bad.
Wow, you are totally killing the mood for me here.
Hi, so I realized that since there are some simple voice mods out there, people may think that Mulle's AI is just a simple voice pack. So I figured I'd make this video to explain a little bit about what Mulle's AI actually is. Well, the primary aim of Mulle's AI is to make the opponents feel more human, and a huge factor in that is voice lines. The default AI has 6 different kinds of voice lines, like attacking, getting hit, and dying. Mulle's AI, in comparison, has hundreds, and each kind, of course, needs a bunch of voice lines, i.e. different variations. Would quickly get annoying if every injury reaction was the same single line. And at the time of this video, there are almost 2400 voice lines for each of the 2 voices. Another huge factor in making them feel less like mannequins and more human is facial animations. Now, the default game does have some facial animations. However, there are only a couple, and they are tied to events like dying or attacking. Mulle's AI completely overrides this system, and instead, facial animations are tied to voice lines. That means facial animations change based on what is spoken. Here's an example.
Real talk real quick? I don't think I'm even actually a pirate. What are you even on about?
Notice also the fact that the AI also looks at each other and you, which is also an extremely important factor in making them feel more alive.
Pirate? What are you?
For fuck's sakes, I have to poop! It's not like anybody cares! So how does Mulle's AI behave different from the vanilla game? Well, Mulle's AI will comment, taunt, ask for help, react to friendly fire, etc. All helps to make them feel less game charactery. Mulle's AI are also more aggressive. They attack more aggressively, i.e. consecutive attacks. They counterattack, they feint, and more. They're also a lot more resilient. For example, their attacks are not interrupted by simple damage. So if an AI is attacking and you swing and hit their arms, you'll get hit, forcing you to block and counterattack lest you take damage. In other words, you may actually die from these guys. They also don't die from dismemberments. And there are a lot more features, all designed to make the AI feel more real. Hopefully even make you feel bad for killing them. And they may surrender. If you kill them, they may go on their knees and beg for mercy, allowing you to finish them off. Do you know how to wield? Oh no, please don't kill me! Now, at some point after release, I will release my voice editor. You don't just record lines and then drop them in a folder. The system needs to know some details about each voice line. And instead of having to do it all manually in JSON, I developed an editor. The lines are recorded and saved as WAV files. The name does not matter. What matters is the trigger. This tells the system when this line should be played. The AI also refer to each other by name. There are only a small handful of names, and each one has different variants. The name has to match the line that is spoken. It sounds bad if the AI speaks the name softly, and then yells at the AI. Robert, where the fuck did you learn to fight? Francis, where the fuck did you learn to fight? And it cannot make the assumption that, for example, friendly fire lines are aggressive, because a line could start out sort of sarcastically and then end aggressively. Like, yeah, just in case you're not aware, you are hitting me! Now 5000 voice lines may sound like a lot, but it's really not. Not all kinds of voice lines have the same number of lines. Some have a lot, some not as many, and at some point you will of course begin to recognize them and hear the same again. There's no way around that without some kind of synthesis. That's not really feasible though. However, I did develop systems to help with this. The marker system allows marking parts of the voice line, both to specify facial expressions, but also to increase the variation artificially. For example, jump markers mark points where the system can skip from one part of the line to another. Cutoff markers indicate points where the system can choose to end the voice line instead of by the natural end. Start markers indicate other points at which the voice line could begin playing, rather than always from the beginning. The markers allow the system to stitch voice lines together in different ways dynamically, increasing variation. Meaning every time the voice line is played, it's different. I'm blue or yellow and green. I'm blue or maybe not. I'm blue or yellow. I'm blue and green or maybe not. I'm blue. Conditions can also be set so that a line won't play when it's not applicable or vice versa. For example, you don't want the AI to say, "We're going to kill you," if he's alone. The conditions are C# expressions. Do you have a hand-stabbing fetish? Haha, yeah, 1 down, 3 to go. Oh, yeah, I did it!
Okay, there's no one around to see it. God damn it!
Furthermore, the editor can reload a voice in-game on the fly, allowing you to test immediately without having to reload the game. Lines can also be previewed in the game, making it easier to see what the expressions look like.
Okay, there's no one around to see it. God damn it! My god.
Well, that's it for now. Here are 7 minutes of uncut AI versus AI footage. Bye-bye. See you later.
Take this one! No, not my moneymaker!
And another one! And another one! He!
Ooh, too close on that one.
I actually think you're a really good fighter.
Hey, I love the banter, but could you shut the fuck up? You know, I really did miss this place. My face! My beautiful face! Oh, you're still too slow, but I mean... slow down a bit.
Why don't you take a swing at someone else?
Why do you keep doing that to my
Kill you! Who did that? Speak up, lad. I couldn't hear you.
I'm gonna die!
So even with all those skills, how does it feel to know that you're a...
Why do you keep hitting my face?
Missed again!
Yeah.
Look at me! I'm a man!
Guys, help
I'm
me!
a
He's still
man's
swinging
man.
at me!
You can't beat me!
I think it's
Full gear!
Oh, man, I really gotta
Oh, in a bottle of rum.
You actually have really pretty eyes.
For fuck's sakes, I have to poop!
It's not like anybody cares!
Oh, come on, leave
If
me
you
alone!
could get me a weapon, that'd be real swell.
Will you leave me alone?
Oh my nose!
I hear you, here you
Let the
go.
hand. Pass me
Come on,
one.
show me what you got.
Sure, I can spare one.
You know, that's probably the best thing you'll do all day.
Let's go!
Right here by the tree.
It's alright, Roy, we can take it. Stop hitting my face!
Could you say that again?
Hey, what the hell?
Whatever!
Why, we're a tight-knit crew, aren't we?
Oh, Jesus Christ! Why are you hitting me?
You're about to die to me.
Oh, I believe you.
You call that fighting?
I'm gonna fuck you, murder.
Guys, help me, he's gonna kill me!
I'm right here, buddy.
What are you gonna do about it?
Take this one.
Not the face. I need a weapon
that
over
again?
here.
Run, because I'm gonna kill you. Just because I can. Yes, my grandmother fights better than you do. Now that I'm fight! Yeah, totally. Christ!
Whoa.
Oh, come on. Okay, it's
Guys,
my
I need a
turn to
weapon.
pick your face.
Oh, sure, I always bring a spare. Oh, look at this.
And this.
And now dead.
Come on.
Trying to speak him.
And again.
Oh, you are just the worst.
Yeah, well, you got in my way. I'm gonna shit down your neck and rip off your head.
Oh, can it, you landlubber? Hey,
Why did you get to get it?
Yeah.
Stop!
Yeah.
Just backstab me.
Oh, my nose! I think you broke my nose!
Carry this as well.
Lads, I need
Oh,
help!
fuck, that was
Lads,
close.
by the bridge! God damn it, what? You ever
Nice.
wonder why the
Will you
pirate
stop with the
voice is so
backstabbing?
rough and raspy? That voice hurts, you know.
What are you talking?
I'm
So good. Yeah, you are pretty good, but I'm much better. Yeah.
Stop hitting me from behind.
I didn't.
Why do you keep hitting me in my back? Here, this one. Oh, I love this. Whatever.
Ow! The fuck? Do I owe you money or something?
I did not need
Yeah.
Ah, my foot.
Dude, you should run. You're outnumbered. Stop hitting my back.
Why don't you swing at someone else?
Can we just agree nothing from the neck? Stop backstabbing me.
Best, and I don't want you to ever forget it.
What? No, you're the fighter.
Do I owe you some money or something?
Come on.
I'm gonna kill you,
Third attempt,
landlubber.
third miss.
You in one arm.
Let's fight.
Hey, yeah. Come on.
Whoa.
Yeah.
And again.
You ever notice how
telling you now, you won't find anyone who fights better than I do. And yet, you're about to die. Hey, you there! I'm gonna kill you because you talk too much.
That's my bad.
Kind of
You know, I
survival.
don't think we've actually gotten any booty for a good long while.
I don't know how to wield that.
You can't possibly take me now. I'm gonna kill you.
You did it again as well.
Well, maybe you should pay more attention to where I'm swinging. Yeah.
My skills are legendary.
Missed again.
Oh, come on! Get around my skull. Fuck you!
Whoa! Get out of my face! What'd you do that for?
Oh, come on, leave me alone.
Take this one. Gonna kill you. No, I am
Another one. Really? From behind? And another one. Yeah, finally some action. Come on, hit me. Hit me.
Sometimes I wish I could see the gold shield in the world.
Your friend thought he could touch me.
Any more where that came from? My face!
I never thought I'd see this place again, but I'm glad I'm.
Oh!
You know, landlubber, studies have shown that people who use shields are 50% more.
And down you go.
I'm gonna loot your corpse. Just. Yeah. A shield is what
I'm
I've
gonna
got,
kill you.
and that means you're gonna die. I don't remember asking.
Yeah. Oh yeah, bring out your sword. Ow. Hole.
I'm gonna kill you, scoundrel.
Oh, you did wrong. I'm gonna kill you.
Looking at you, I think we can both agree that I'm going to kill you.
Just try it, you scoundrel.
Come on. Oh, he's still swinging.
Look at me. I am the best. You cannot win.
Oh yeah? Come and show me then. I'm gonna kill you dead, scallywag.
Are you kidding? I mean, have you looked at yourself? You have cuts all over. You're not going to survive long enough to kill me. And then. And again. Yeah.
Die.
Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Kill him.